I know what you're thinking. Good Lord, they just recording. They behinds off 3 podcasts at once. That's not really what happened. Um, we recorded the roses on August the 30th, my birthday. I've been sick pretty much for the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
I'm still coughing. You may notice during this podcast. Just a thing I do from time to time. But because we made you wait for that one, because we made you wait for Bang Bang, because we actually watched Bang Bang before we watched The Roses, we also watched Sing Sing during this time.
Did we watch Bang Bang before we watched The Roses?
Yes, we watched Bang Bang on like that Thursday. We watched Roses on Saturday.
Oh.
Because remember, we both had
starting.
Thursday off.
Yeah, stuff is
the
starting to blend in.
28th? Yeah.
The 29th.
29th? Yeah, it was 28th. 30th
it was 28th. That's right.
We both had that Thursday off. But anyway, because we made you wait, because we we've watched a lot of movies. We watched Companion too. We technically could talk about that if we wanted to, but we'll see how this goes. We watched Sing Sing, and this is a movie that I was heavily like, I won't say promoting, but I was like, yo, Sing Sing got to get nominated for these Oscars. Colman, Domingo got to get this Oscar.
You talked about this movie so much that I swear you watched the movie. We were 30 minutes in,
and we were 45 minutes in,
and I was just like, why you already know what's gonna happen? Like, why are you pretending like you haven't seen this movie? Because you talked about it so much, you was just like, yeah, I gotta get you to watch Sing Sing, and I'm just like, he really likes this movie. He really likes this.
Whole time I had not seen it. Like, she legit, and I forgot this, so I'm glad you brought it up. She legit like stood me up and down that I was lying about having seen this movie. I was like, I promise you.
We had to pause it and everything because it was something happening, and I called it. I said, oh my gosh, this is about to happen. And Michael was like, no, I don't think so. And I was just like, why are you trying to play me? And you know what's about to happen. You've seen this before. And we had to stop it because he was just like, no, I've never seen this movie. And
she didn't believe me, right? Apparently she thinks I'm a liar. I don't know. But she was like, and I was like, man, we've been sitting here for the past 45 minutes. It might have been an hour. Like, we were deep in this movie, and she's like, I'm thinking like the whole time she thought I've seen this before. Yes. Like, we're not experiencing this together. Because
I thought you were just doing it for me. Like, oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. Let's put this on, and I want you to enjoy it the way that I enjoyed it when I watched it half a dozen times.
So keep in mind, if you're new here or whatever, Latoya and I have a list of movies that are important to us individually.
Right.
And we want to share them with each other. We've done that for a time. We haven't done it in a while.
But I have one that I've been wanting you to see, and we've talked about that one. So that's gonna be my next one.
Okay.
But I thought this was one for you.
For whatever reason, she thought this was one for me. The movie literally came out last year. Like, we were trying to go see it, but it didn't. I think did it even come to our theater?
I don't think
so. It might have for like a week.
And I was gonna say I think it did, and then it didn't stay long.
Yeah, like something else was out.
We missed the window.
Something else was out or something, and we never got around to it. But apparently Latoya thought I somehow, some way found an opportunity to watch it.
Yep.
And loved it and been singing its praises, when really I'm like, we really need to watch this movie we said we were going to watch.
But you were singing its praises and had not seen it.
Hey, look.
You were Oscar nomination this.
And I'm not even going to be
Colman, Domingo, that.
I'm not even going to say nothing, because hold on, if you're a person that like really follows me like for real, you know that me and Reese had this conversation also. Because last podcast, I can't remember why it came up. Oh, me and Reese were recapping our best movies since 2020 draft. And he was like, man, I'm surprised you didn't get Sing Sing. And I was like, I haven't seen it.
So he thought you saw it
yes.
too.
That's what I was saying. Like, he was like, I'm surprised you didn't draft Sing Sing. And I was like, I haven't seen it. And he got quiet. He was like, what? I was like, I haven't seen it. He was like, but all that Colman Domingo stuff. He was like, he must really. He started like cracking up. He's like, you really a Colman Domingo fan because the way you was talking, I just knew that you saw
it. Exactly.
Shout out to Colman. Let's start there. You said you wanted to start there. Let's start there. First of all, again, for those who don't know, my history with Colman Domingo runs long. Mm-hmm. I don't think I had ever really. I've seen him in stuff apparently because like I went through his filmography and realized he was in stuff. Mm-hmm. But I took note of him in Fear the Walking Dead, spinoff of The Walking Dead. It starts prior to the outbreak, and Coleman's character comes on screen and changes the game.
Like, he's so intense. I love him.
Like he's this flamboyant, like wealthy acting type of dude. This deep voice with this, like, he just has a presence about
his eyes, like the way he just kind of looks so intense.
Yeah,
it's dope. Like I don't know. Every time I see him in something, I'm appreciative of him as an actor because it's almost as if each role was specifically tailored to who he is, or he's just that good that he can just kind of morph into these particular characters. But his expressions, so dead on. I love it. Anytime that I've seen him, what did we watch with him when he was the lead character? And he was the movie with the son. Was it a movie? It was a show. Was it a show? Yes, it was a show where he
how many episodes?
Babe, we watched this. Oh,
he was the main character. Oh.
And he was out at
it was the mystery. It was the Netflix show. I feel like it had a one-word name. I'm gonna pull it up, y'all. I know somebody's like listening to this, like, oh my god, it's called blah blah blah. Dang, what was it called? He was like the news anchor or something, right? Hold on.
That movie.
He like happens upon the murder in the woods, and like people are chasing him. This is just y'all.
Even in Fear the Walking Dead, that was the one. Yeah, because I watched a couple of those episodes with you, and I was just like, oh my gosh, he's not playing like ever with these people. And like he's smooth and he's cool and he's helpful, and then he do some shicey stuff, but then you can't even be mad at him. But it's really good. It's really good. I really like him. And while you're looking that up,
the madness.
Yes. Okay. The madness. Yes. So I mean, I don't know, like just his presence it fills the space, I feel like, for me. And so I think that is that says a lot about an actor.
Yeah. During his time on Fear the Walking Dead, I had the privilege of interviewing him. And we ended up talking so long, I ended up splitting the interview into 2 parts. And again, I already liked him as an actor, but getting to talk to him and hearing the things that he was passionate about and how cool he was, like at the end of the interview, he like gave me his number and like texted me some pictures and stuff like that to use for the interview. And I was like, this is a very, like, he comes off on screen as a very down to earth person. But I could also see people seeing him as potentially being bougie. He's a very down to earth person, and like I like. And in this movie, there's a couple examples. I like how he'll be in these roles, he'll be doing whatever, and then he'll have those little moments where he's like, "Oh, he's just a regular dude." Like where he'll like, "All right, brother," like he'll just kind of like no matter who the character is, he'll always have those little moments, and it's like you can see the true him come through for like a brief moment, but not in a bad way. Like it's the same thing like with a Will Smith or a Denzel, where they just kind of in the pocket. and they'll just do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it may
Their
not be in the
comfort
script.
level.
It may be. It doesn't
Right.
matter. It's just
And
them,
it's just their
and
essence.
it works.
Yeah.
This role in particular, is there anything you want to say? I'm going to let you say first because this is something you brought to the table. So I'm going to let you say it for anything about this role in particular that stood out for Colman, for you.
Oh, I want you to go first.
Okay, you did it to yourself. I'm just saying. I think for me, coming into this movie, the way the movie starts, we're introduced to Colman as this guy who is like the big shot in the group. Mm-hmm. They're all inmates, but he clearly has a past as a writer,
right?
And as an actor. Like I think the first scene we see, he's one of the kings in Shakespeare play. Mm-hmm. He's doing his thing. He's locked in, and it's like, oh, this the big dog. He kind of run the show. Everything revolves around him. Right, is the energy I got.
Mm-hmm. Even so, like during the practices and the exercises, he would intervene, but mm-hmm. like not in a rude way, not in a "oh, I got this and you don't" type of way, but it was like helpful because it's just like, okay, I see the vision, I see what you're trying to do, and so let me help you bring this vision to life. Let me help you bring it into a reality in a way that it makes for a good performance.
Right. Yeah, like he clearly had more raw, like skill, like training skills, mm-hmm. whatever, than the rest of the inmates, but there was still a level of humility to him.
Right.
At first, I thought it was fake.
I questioned that too.
Because, like, when they're sitting there talking about what play they should do, and one of them says, "Let's do one of his plays," and he's like, I don't know, y'all want to do my play, right? Like it felt like that type of thing. Like me,
right?
I don't know.
Not me though. Oh, this whole thing. Let me pull out this.
Right. So I got this one
notebook.
But yeah, that's where I thought it was going. I thought he was going to end up being jealous mm-hmm. of the other guy because like they do auditions, mm-hmm. and the other guy, Divine Eye, ends up getting the king role.
Right. But you know what I find interesting?
Go ahead.
I feel like up until that point, no one had ever challenged him in that way, mm-hmm. in that lane. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So I think that was interesting because, even when, like you said, when he was auditioning and, he did his thing or whatever, and it was just like, okay, up next for the same role, Divine Eye, and he's like, oh, somebody else is trying to do this. Like, what's up with that?
Right.
And so, I thought that was interesting that there was some humility, but there was also, I don't know, a feeling that, I have authority in mm-hmm. this lane because outside of here, this is what I did. This is what I do. Performing is my life. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I think getting back to what I forgot to say a minute ago about Colman. So we have this character who clearly has some type of artistic past. He's in jail, whatever. There's parts where he's working on trying to get out. Mm-hmm. Apparently he's exhausted his appeals and things of that nature. So like he's having to put in work to do this. And at the same time, Divine Eye has a hearing coming up, but he's like, man, it is what it is.
I ain't getting out anyway. They ain't letting me out. They ain't trying to help nobody out. It don't matter. Ain't nothing I can do. I'm good anyway.
Right. Like, so we have, I forgot what his character's name was. Divine G. Mm-hmm. So Colman is Divine G, and Divine G is like, putting in all this work. It's a slim shot, but I got to do what I got to do to try to make it happen. And other dude is like, I ain't wasting my time getting my hope up.
Right.
Knowing I ain't going to get out. And Divine G, Coleman's character, is like, hey, let me help you, da-da-da. Let me get you the resources, et cetera, so forth. And Divine Eye is kind of pushing against it. When things play out, and this movie's been out a long enough time that we can talk spoilers.
Okay.
When Divine G has his hearing, and like the lady's listening, and she's like, "I heard you're part of this little acting troupe or whatever."
Right.
And he's like, "Yes," and he's thinking, this is showing that like I'm rehabilitated, like I'm doing this acting thing, blah blah blah, to give back. And she's like, are you acting right now?
How do I know you're not acting right now? Right.
And it's like, damn, like, is this gonna backfire on me? Like, like, is that what's happening here? And then he had told Divine Eye, after your hearing, if you get a brick envelope, you're not getting out.
Right.
If it's a thin envelope, that means you're getting out. And so he has his hearing, and then he gets his mail delivery, and it's a brick, and he crashes out.
Yes, he does. And they through with him. They're done with him. The other inmates that are also have roles in this play, they're just like, well, we've been through such and such, and we still show up, and we still do what we need to do. And I think the idea that not only was he carrying his own weight, the fact that he was the person that helps everybody else, he was carrying their weight too. And so it's just like, when you're always that person that does for other people, is the go-to for everyone else, you're cracking under the pressure of not just your stuff, but other people's stuff as well, and you're grieving.
Right. He's the source of light for everybody, but what's being fed into him?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that check on your strong friends thing. Like, he's cracking jokes, he's making sure everybody good, but he not good at the end of the day, because he's desperate to get out, and this feels like a I'm never gonna get out type of situation.
Right.
And he snapped, and he went off, and he embarrassed the dude. It was just not a good look, and it was fun watching Colman's character make that transition. This is something that he's special at. I'm gonna say it. The turn is what I'm gonna call it. He's good at bringing a character in one way and then having that moment where everything shifts. Zola, not a great movie necessarily. A lot of penises. That's neither here nor there.
I have not
Full
seen
frontal.
That.
Like, it's a parade of, anyway. It's a one scene, but it's like they're trying to drive home the fact that these women were at this hotel performing services, and this is how many men they saw. But all you see is that over and over, just different shapes, sizes, colors. Anyway, back to the point. He plays a character who's like a pimp. And at first, he's this nice, funny, cool guy. And then he shifts into a killer gangster dude. That's what Colman is good at. Being able to, because a lot of actors can portray different characters, but not a lot of actors can portray different characters in the same scene. Colman, he did it in Candyman. He did it in Fear the Walking Dead multiple times, where it presents one way, and then when the ish hits the fan, he turned into somebody else. You like, whoa, buddy! I didn't know you was what? That's who Colman is as an actor. If I had to pin it down, and so to be able, I wasn't expecting that in this movie. So when it happened, I was like, oh, this is special.
Right.
You wanted to talk about the juxtaposition between Divine G's character, his journey, and Divine Eye's character, his journey.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
I hope my hair, guys, isn't like all on the mic, because I'm moving a little bit. But yes, so Divine G versus Divine I. Divine G, as Mike just described, he proclaims innocence, actually has proof of his innocence, somebody else that is confessing to the crime and everything, family guy, and a person of the arts, versus Divine I, gangster through and through. He's one of those, regardless of who I am, regardless of where I am, I'm going to continue to be who I am. So in and out I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be because this is all I know.
Yeah.
This is all I've ever known. This is who I am.
And it's survival in prison.
Exactly. And so even if you think about that, the same thing existed in Divine G. Mm-hmm. My survival is dependent upon me being able to perform. Mm-hmm. Me being able to do this because this is in me. Mm-hmm. I've done this my whole life. Right. I've done this. I've become this. This is who I am as well. And so I think it's important to talk about the two of them, and the growth that happened just through their exchange, right? Just through them knowing each other, just through them being near each other, talking to one another, embracing, uplifting one another. Mm-hmm. I think that was really dope.
Yeah, and I think in the beginning, Divine G tries to talk to Divine I and impart wisdom and things of that nature, and Divine I is very resistant. Mm-hmm. After this blow up from Divine G, Divine I comes to him in the same similar type of vein of trying to talk to him and feel him out, make sure he's good and stuff like that. And Divine G is resistant now.
Right.
And it's like interesting to watch that shift because again, Divine I was like all this soft kumbaya-ish. That ain't gonna. That's how that's gonna get you killed.
Stop bringing me to these dark corners. Like
making me nervous. That's not how I expected the scene to go, but it's like right. It's real and it's fun. And I think even in a moment like that, you're able to see there is a level of vulnerability that is possible from Divine I. Mm-hmm. He just feels like in the beginning,
it's a weakness.
This is not safe. Mm-hmm. For me to be vulnerable. Right. But as he's in the space longer, as he's getting to know these guys and hear their stories, he I don't want to say he softens, mm-hmm. but he allows himself to be a full person. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like the movie it highlights the humanity of these people that we look at as murderers, whatever. Right. And like the idea of prison in general is inhumane. The things that they're having to do, the fact they gotta sit there and watch somebody tear through their stuff, whatever reason, right? The fact that they have a schedule for eating and can only go outside for a certain amount of time, like there's an inhumanity to it, but mm-hmm. this allowing them to perform these plays and interact with each other in this way is them partially reclaiming their humanity. Like, right. Does Divine I end up in a situation where he's able to get out if he doesn't go to RTA?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I don't think he tries.
I don't think so. I think that there's a level of, and they even talked about it. Okay. Him and Divine G, him saying, this just it, this what it is, that type of thing, and Divine G saying, no, that's what the system wants you to believe, but you got to learn how to make it work for you. There are ways. There's hope. You got to hold on to that. Because all things are possible. Anything is possible. And so, the idea that they're incarcerated and he still has that glimmer of hope, not just for himself, but he's willing to instill that in his brother and right. the next person up, I think is incredible.
Yeah. No.
And this is based on a true story.
Facts. Speaking of which, and I don't know if we're done with the Divine I, Divine G dichotomy, if you will.
We'll circle back if we need
to. A lot of the actors in the movie are legitimate people who went through the system.
Right.
The RTA system, the prison system, etc. Mm-hmm. I thought it was awesome. And it's like, oh, they got all these inmates to act. Well, the inmates were acting.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Exactly.
So they got to be in this movie as like an extension and a furtherance of that work that they did in prison, mm-hmm. as like learning how to act and stuff. Like, I thought that was really dope. And I'm sure some of the testimonies we hear mm-hmm. in the movie are those people's real right. testimonies. Right. Like, I can't remember the big guy who was like, when I first got to prison, I was angry.
Right.
I was ready to fight, and et cetera and so forth. And he had to let that go.
Right.
To move forward, to feel like there was a future outside of that confinement. Mm. If I act like the confinement, I will continue to be in the confinement. But if I allow myself to believe that I'm going to be free one day, I have to let go of that mentality of prison survival.
Right.
And I thought that was dope. And he gives like a good little speech to Divine Eye because Divine Eye was ready to swing.
Right.
And dude was like, you got to let that go.
This is the one place that we can actually be free.
Right.
This is the one place that we can actually live out a different reality than the one that we live in each and every day.
And I'm trying to think, in that scene, the guy walked behind Divine Eye. And I've never been to prison, but I understand that it's like, again, this is where the inhumanity comes in. It's like an animalistic thing. Like when they tell you not to put your hand beside an alligator's mouth. You can touch its nose from the front, but if you put your hand to the side, it's gone.
Right.
It's that same mentality in the prison system here, apparently. You walk behind me, I'm going to think you're a threat.
I work with kids that don't like to
talk about that.
Just don't like people to be behind them. Like if they're in line and they have to move from one location to the next, and then we're like, all right, let's march, let's line up, let's get together, whatever. Put me at the end because I don't like for people to be behind me. But that's a protective measure for them.
And this might be too much for the podcast, but like I'm the type of person I like to sit in the back because I don't like having people behind me. Like going back to school. Now I guess I have had people mess with me a little bit. Nothing crazy, but like it's like you said, it's a protective thing. Where if I'm going to be in the class, I want to be able to see everybody.
So my quirk, if you would call it,
even in the movie theater,
I don't like for people to like stand in my peripheral and talk to me. Like if we're talking, face me, because I don't like it when you're over here. I can't see you. I don't know what you're doing, and so it's I don't know if it's a protective measure for me, but I just feel like if ever somebody is talking to me and they're on the side of me in my peripheral, I shift to face them. Because gotcha. I want to be able to see you and you see me. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
Okay. So yes, in this scene, the guy walks behind him and he immediately gets into defense mode.
Right.
And is ready to fight. And that's where that guy, like you said, gives him the speech saying you don't have to do that here. And I thought that was like an interesting.
Maybe it's because I it's a trust thing.
I feel like that.
It's definitely a trust thing. Remember a couple podcasts ago, the lady was doing all that stuff. It was, matter of fact, it was with roses.
Oh yes.
Yeah. She was doing all that stuff, all that movement. She got her book bag on. She taking it out. She digging in the book bag. I'm like, what's going on here? What's happening? But it's a trust thing, and just kind of knowing, if I can see you, then I'm aware. I'm made aware. And so, if there's if things are covered up, things are being blocked, I can't see you, that's a problem for me. And so it's just like, come around to face me, to my front. And so I kind of get the idea of, you're walking behind me. I don't know what you're capable.
Right. And they give an example of something that occurred where someone walked behind someone.
Right.
And something terrible occurred.
Right. And I think too, the idea that, you are incarcerated. And so I think
with murderers.
Right, exactly. So there's a trust.
Yeah.
It's
on another level, I'm sure.
Exactly. And so I'm sure that it's intensified, and the fact that he's responding in anger, but the underlying thing is fear.
Right.
I don't know what your plan is. I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what your motive is. And so it's just like, if I, have that shell, that that armor on, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm covered. I'm protected. So I'm looking at this thing here,
Okay.
and it's just asking, just particular discussion questions. And one of the things talks
Tell me
about,
what you're looking at.
I'm looking at rehabilitation through the arts. So this is the actual program, RTA. So I'm guessing that they, came up with these discussion questions based off of um, what's presented in the movie. And
Okay.
so one of the ones is talking about seeing incarcerated people as one dimensional. And a lot of times that's the way that they are portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think Sing uh delivered it in a different way? Did it
Are
change
you
your
asking me?
perspective? Yes, did it change your perspective, or is it just like, oh, I'm not surprised on this?
So for me, it's like I like to consider myself a person that is well rounded enough to know that there's complexities to people. Um,
Right.
that because I was a military brat, and so I lived around. I like J. Cole has that line where like I done seen it all from dirt pulling a trailer to middle class with a backyard in my own room. Like I've lived that. Like I lived on base. I lived in a multicultural middle class area. I lived in a multicultural base situation. I lived in the hood. I lived in the country. Like I've been around different people and had been able to spend time with people from all walks of life, one for one reason or another. I have classmates who were billionaires, heirs and whatnot. I had classmates who came from nothing but drug addicts. Like I know people at every end of the spectrum. So for me, I think I'm pretty good at not thinking of people as a monolith, but at the same time, when you see a person, you would do cast judgment.
Right.
That's natural.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a scene where there's a guy whose face is tatted up, and he has like uh, I don't want to say he has a piercing in his forehead, like a third eye. I see that dude, and I'm thinking that's not a safe person to be around. And then he gets out here and he's acting all goofy for the play, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
So I think with that in mind, not only does it allow the viewer to see these people in another light, I think it's important for it's important for them to see themselves and to see each other in a different light. Because if Divine Eye doesn't get into this acting,
right,
he is just gonna be gangster all the time.
right. And it creates, I feel like, a different conversation as well to the viewers. I can see these people, but I can have questions, or I can kind of wonder or explore, what's this story?
Yeah.
Why did they get here? So when they have those moments in the movie, I'm locked in. I'm intrigued now, because you ain't just these hood people or these gangsters or these, rough killers that I thought you were. Like you're actual people.
Right.
Circumstances, situations, decisions led you down the path that you're on, but you're people. You're people. And it's almost as if when they're in that space and you're watching them, the bars disappear.
Yeah.
And that goes into one of these questions as well.
Okay.
The freedom beyond walls. I'm gonna let you take that one. It's this one right
read
here.
it. Oh, you want me to read it?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Sorry. In an interview, Colman Domingo said, "Sometimes confinement is in the mind." Excuse me. Do you think it's possible to feel free even in difficult circumstances? I am a Black American. let's start there.
Right.
So I hate this idea that you shouldn't have a victim mentality. It's not a victim mentality. I am aware that when I walk into certain spaces, my skin has me perceived a certain way.
Right.
And I've been aware of that my entire life.
Right.
And there are periods in my life where I intentionally set out to prove people wrong on their preconceived notions. I've been the only black kid in my class many times and had people say, "Oh, you're in the wrong classroom," and had to tell them, "No, I'm not." I've lived that. So, that is a confinement, and that could be mental to some degree. So there are people who are like me, and they don't see their skin as a barrier ever.
Right.
And they may be able to get through life that way. But it only takes one time for that not to be the case for it to be a problem for that person because they were not prepared for that.
Right.
At the same time, you can be over prepared, and I can probably say that there's probably times where I am. A lot of black people in academia, in business, whatever, suffer from imposter syndrome. You've developed a mentality that people don't want you here, and so even if you get in the room, there is a little bit of doubt about whether or not you belong there.
Right. And I think it's hard too, as a black person, and maybe this is just me speaking from the perspective of a female, but it's difficult to gauge how much is too much and
of
how
yourself.
how little is too little, because if I do too much, I'm too much. I'm saying too much. I'm, being too bossy or too aggressive. And if I dial back, or you're just being timid, you're not allowing yourself to just be yourself. You're hiding. Maybe I should doubt your sincerity, that type of thing. And so I think as African Americans, we enter a room and we're constantly in a state of that adjustment,
trying to gauge
trying
what
to
percentage
gauge
of ourselves we are allowed to be in this moment.
And that's confinement. I feel like that's prison.
So that makes it easy for me to understand the idea of a mental confinement.
Right.
Now, in this situation, we're looking at people who are literally confined, but the movie does a good job of showing how you can be in prison and not be of prison, if that makes sense. So yes, Divine Eye, when we're introduced to him, he is confined physically and mentally. I'm in prison and I must be this way because I'm in prison.
Right.
The idea of the movie brings this idea that you need to also be able to feel like outside, or know that there's a world outside that you want to be a part of.
Right.
And if you want to be a part of that outside world, you have to be careful about what you develop, what you determine to be who you are while you're in
inside.
This,
right.
In this confinement.
So it's possible to feel free in difficult situations. I think a freedom of staying true to self is possible. But it's also, like you said, it's a struggle. That imposter syndrome, like you were just saying with Divine Eye, if I let my guard down, all these things that I've learned, that have become a part of me, become a part of my existence, become a part of my existence beyond that. Like I live this because I have to. I have to. A lot of times he kept saying, "This is all I know. This is all I know." So if I let my guard down in any way, I risk not only, losing, this is bigger than just my rep on the yard. I risk losing my life.
Right.
Because the decisions that I've made, the ways that I move, who I am, I got a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
And so how do I exist in the space knowing that's that way, but also attempting vulnerability, attempting to allow somebody to come in, the exchange between him and Divine G, like attempting to have hope when I know that hope itself ain't safe.
Yeah, and I think that's where, to answer the question, I think you have to be able to feel free in difficult circumstances, to remind yourself that there is a possibility to be free, to remind yourself that there is there are to find, I should say, spaces where you can be free. And like, even if it's just a moment to meditate and just kind of be out, like close your eyes, forget about these walls for a minute, forget about XYZ, and just clear your mind and just be.
Like
just
one
exist.
of the exercises that they did in the movie. I think my favorite one was the one when they were just like, what's your favorite place, or what's your favorite moment. And I thought that was so interesting because, one of the ones that stood out to me was, I just cut grass and I'm just out looking. It reminded me of you. It's so funny because that's what you do. Like, I come to the house, I pull up, you out there cutting grass, or you just got done, you got your hand on your hip, and you looking over the yard, like, yeah, I did that. Like, I think that's amazing. But even that, the idea that you put work into this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a work of art.
Yeah.
I put my effort, I put my sweat, my blood. You were dealing with some dangerous circumstances last time you were out there.
I mean, I got stung by a wasp.
Yes.
Oh, there's a mark there. I never realized that. See the little black dot?
I do see
That's
it.
where it got me.
But I put everything that I had into creating this to be in this way. So when the guy was talking about, I'm just sitting there chilling, sitting in the chair, looking at my backyard, at the grass that I cut, and I could smell the grass. I could smell it. And I think we also talked about this too, just cherishing moments, like things that we take for granted, things that we have access to, things that we are allowed to experience even on a day-to-day basis. They those things matter. Those things add up. Those things are grand, even if nobody else thinks that they are.
Like, because it's easy in regular life, like, we're not in jail, obviously, but bills be adding up. You know what I'm saying? You might be tired of going to work every morning, and you could feel like, I'm trapped in this cycle. But one day you wake up, you know what I'm saying, the sun coming through the blinds just right. You know, you got some a cold drink in your hand. You know what I'm saying? You watching a good movie, whatever. That's a beautiful moment. That's, you live in my mind. If I was a billionaire, I'd do that. I'd love a day like that.
Right.
Like, I'd love a day where we get to go to the ice cream shop and sit in the car and laugh and joke and eat ice cream.
Right.
Like, that's
those
rich.
Moments.
Say what?
I like those moments. I like when we do that.
Like, you have to be able to appreciate a moment and be able to forget about all your stress, all your problems, all your troubles, all your worries for just a moment. And that's what I believe
that freedom looks like.
That freedom in difficult situations is like example, a year ago, horrible hurricane. We were without power for a week. It was so hot. We had some beautiful moments during that time.
We did. We were out there on that grill like every day. We couldn't call anybody. We could barely send anything out. Exactly. Sitting in the parking lot of the library.
Madison watching shows on her tablet,
downloading movies and TV shows and such. That was. But you know what? We made those moments. I almost because it was hot. Almost felt bad that life was returning to normal.
It felt weird. We started to kind of adapt.
Right. And I felt like we started doing more things as a family. We were taking walks. Like, Madison was asking us, can we go today? Can we go for a walk today too? And out in the backyard, we did. out in the backyard, cooking on the grill. I was throwing down, y'all. Listen.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I was doing I was doing that. Oh my gosh, those lines, those standing out there. But even then, like we made the most of those moments. We laughed, we talked, you know, like there was a freedom in the fact that okay, we're going through this together, but we're supporting one another, we're encouraging one another, we're creating moments that make us laugh, that make us just do what we're doing. Was your mic off the whole time?
It was off at least this period of time.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe your mic was picking it up.
Maybe
we're close enough together.
Listen, we gonna put this out.
I'm about to say it might be the ghettoest recording of all time, but it's gonna be out.
This is our freedom.
Yeah, I think my mic is on.
This is us existing in our freedom. So, you know, we're not going to hide or run away from this moment. So this will be what it's gonna be. Do we have anything else we'd like to say before we go? Get closer.
Let me lean into your mic. I don't know how I've sounded this whole podcast. I apologize to the folks. If you could barely hear me, I feel like I'm loud a lot of the time. Excuse me, or at least louder than Latoya.
That's not funny.
I'm not trying to be funny at all. So like, cause I boost our volume anyway, so it'll work one way or another. But we don't need this, do we? Yeah, I think overall it's a beautiful movie. Great performance by Colman, great performance by the entire cast, really. A great message as far as, I don't know, I feel like being able to be reminded that the people in prison are people, being able to remember or be reminded or be made more aware of the conditions that they're living in, the way that they feel like they have to live in these situations, the scariness of the system, and like having your fate in other people's hands.
I was gonna say you're not in control.
Like right. the situation with Coleman's case, where a man confessed to the crime that he's in prison for, and
they're
the
like,
person passed away,
right?
So
and he can't corroborate the story.
Right, they can't use the confession anymore, and that for some reason is why Colman can't get out. And it's like, man, what? Like the and he, whatever he did, I can't remember what it was.
I think it was a murder.
Was it a murder? It was a murder. Like his character doesn't. The idea of the criminal justice system being indefinitely punitive, I don't know, it just kind of brings that into a new light, because Coleman's character doesn't seem like the type of dude who's going to just get out and start killing people.
Right.
And so, like, I think he had been in there for 20 years, something along those lines, at least 17. No, 17. I think he said his son was 17. Or was that Divine Eye?
I can't remember, but I do recall the fact that Divine Eye's son was now in that prison.
Divine Eye talked about how his son was in there with him. Which again, it was a good movie just because of it is real, true stories, and I don't know, it's worth seeing. At the end of the day, I think it's worth seeing, and I love that we were exposed at the end to real footage of the plays that were put on through the program, the RTA program, and I think it's important to have stuff like that. I think for me, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, I am very aware of how our criminal justice system is terrible compared to systems across the world. Like, we don't have a lot of things in place that are actually rehabilitative.
Right.
Like, our system is designed to bring people back to prison versus designed to fix them, heal them, and make them, citizens that are able to contribute to society when they get out.
Right.
At the same time, I saw a video today, I believe, might have been yesterday, of a woman who got her CDL through a CDL program in the prison. And when she gets out, she'll be able to drive with no restrictions.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is like a new program at this prison or whatever the case may be. And she's taking a picture in her prison jumpsuit, and somebody was like, they could at least put some regular clothes on her for like the picture of her getting her certificate. But I'm looking at the comments and I'm seeing people saying, must be nice to be able to get your certification and not have to pay for it and blah blah blah. Somebody was like, I'm assuming that whatever she went through in her life that landed her in prison,
she done paid for
she would gladly trade that in
exactly
to have your cushy life that you complained about.
Right.
Like, oh, what was me? I have student loans and people can go to jail and get a degree. What did they do? What was their life like before they went to prison?
Exactly. And we're talking about rehabilitation. So after you do your time, you do your time.
Right.
So after, you paid your debt to society, why does it matter what you gain?
That was the other piece. They were mad about the with no restrictions part. It was like, why wouldn't they have restrictions? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, they're driving a truck.
Right.
Why do you want them to have additional restrictions on driving a truck? Like, what are we talking about? But it's just that we live in a society where
you're doing a lot of moving.
People are. Everyone wants to feel like they're better than somebody else.
Right.
Everybody wants to feel like,
and if I'm better than you,
yeah, like I deserve more than the next person.
Exactly.
If I feel like I'm better than them. The idea that people don't want student loan forgiveness because they paid off their student loans. I didn't get it. I didn't benefit from
nobody
it. So
else
should benefit from
deserves it. Right.
It's a stupid way to live, personally, in my opinion. But that's another story for another day.
We went deep on this one.
We did. And I don't even know how long this is. And mics wasn't working and this, that, and this. But I think it's about 40 minutes.
Talk this way.
Oh, my bad. I think it's about 40 minutes. Thank you.
For what?
For recording with me today.
Yeah.
And we're going to get better at this.
I feel like I've loosened up a little bit more.
You definitely have. And I feel like that happens with time and just get relaxing into it. I think we might have 8 episodes now, maybe 9. Our goal is 10 for the year. I'll tell you where we're at after I get these uploaded, but our goal was 10 for the year, and I feel like we're going to do it.
We're on track.
I'm excited.
I'm not as terrified.
And once you get through these 10, everything will start changing over time. You just got to get through it. I think the key is do it. Do the work. And the rest will take care of itself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do some letterboxed reviews. I might let you get away with not doing them tonight because we've done enough.
I'm ready to go night-night.
You look like you're ready to go night-night. But we're going to do some letterbox reviews. Actually, Friday. Letterbox Friday. Everybody post their updates and stuff like that so we can do it. As long as we get it done by Friday, we're good.
That sounds good.
All right. With that said, this has been Sing Sing, a bonus episode. We usually don't review old movies, but bonus episode. I'm glad we finally watched it.
Agreed.
Until next time, folks.
Peace.